Hello everyone. So today we're going to be going through a basic Qigong class. Qigong is very, very good for our grounding, for the flow of our energy, and just getting into the body, into the present moment, and taking hold of life as the being that we are. So very suitable for all bodies, and please remember to take the practice gently and listen to your body and adapt anything as needed at how you feel in this moment right now. So we're going to start with a really gentle warm-up just to get into the body. And we're actually going to start with a bit of a shake. So taking your limbs, let's start with the upper limbs and just giving a shake to the wrists, a shake to the elbows. Let that shake move into your shoulders. Maybe moving your head around a little bit, gently circling it or letting it drop from side to side, backwards and forwards. And then starting to take a foot and bring a shake to one of your legs, letting the shake move up the knee and into the hip, trying not to stabilize through your shoulders or your body, and actually letting the shake move through your body and flow through your bones. And then gently take the weight into that foot and start to shake the other foot. And again, letting the shake and the movement move through your limb, up into your hip, up into your center. And then giving a whole body shake, a little bit of a twist if that feels comfortable, letting your head go free, your feet and ankles roll from side to side. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then just gently come out of those movements into a nice, calm, standing, centered position. Okay, good. So let's start to open up the chest, neck, head, and shoulders. You're standing to the side for this one. Try and bring your toes into a forward-facing position so that they're not turned out. Take hold of gentle fists in your hands. You're going to bend your knees, send your elbows behind you, stick out your tailbone, and push your head forward. So it's like a turtle coming out of his shell. And then you're going to bring your elbows and your hands together, straighten your legs, and gently tuck your tailbone underneath you, bringing your chin towards your chest so the turtle goes back into his shell. Sticking out your tailbone, bending your knees, drawing your elbows towards each other, and gently pushing your chin and head forward. Bringing your elbows and wrists towards one another in front of you, tucking your tailbone, gently gazing down and in. So it's a little bit like doing a cat and cow stretching standing, just taking it nice and slowly, trying to open up and move the whole of the spine, the head, the neck, the shoulders. As you do this in the background, just thinking about the connection of your feet to the floor, becoming more and more solid with each movement that we make. So we just do a couple more of these. And then just coming into the standing position, we're just going to take a big circle through the hips. So the circle can be as small as you want it to be, but if you can make nice wide circles, then go for it. Again, try and have your toes pointing towards the front of the room. And then taking those bigger circles in the other direction. The rest of your body is relaxed. The crown of your head is long up to the ceiling. And you're just exploring the weight distribution between each area of your foot on the right and your foot on the left. And then we're going to make much smaller versions of the circles, so tiny, tiny circles, as if you're drawing just a 2p coin circle with the tip of your tailbone in the air underneath you. And going the other way, tiny, tiny, tiny circles. Gently relaxing your shoulders, your jaw, bringing again the attention to the feeling of the feet on the floor and the crown of the head to the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to take the feet as wide as we feel comfortable. And we're going to turn out the toes. And we're just going to be bending gently into one knee and then gently into the other knee. If you feel like your knee is traveling very, very far over your toes, then that's a signal that you can probably take a much wider stance so that the knee ends up just beyond the toes or just above the toes. And just gently going from side to side to open up through the side of the inner thigh, trying to keep the knee moving over the second toe, keeping your chest up, your shoulders up. You can pause a little bit on this next knee bend, and then gently go to the other side and take another little pause. And then we're going to come to the middle. We're going to turn our feet forward, keeping a wide stance if possible, but that can start as narrow as you want it to. And we're gently going to bring the hands towards the floor. If you can't touch the floor, grab some blocks or some books or some cushions and place them as high up as they need to be for you to place your hands on something that's connected to the floor so that we can go through this exercise of grounding. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. You can bring your chin gently towards your chest and breathe into the floor. Every time you breathe in, just gently pulling energy up from the ground into your arms, into your legs. And as you exhale, just releasing and giving anything away to the ground that you no longer need. Any tension, any leftover emotions, any stagnant energy. Big, deep inhales. Big, long exhales through your mouth. And just do a couple more rounds of that breath if you can. And then we're going to gently take hold of either our ankles or the top part of our shins just below our knee. And we're just going to take a gentle bend of one knee, a gentle bend of the other knee. You can keep on doing one knee and then the other knee. Or if possible and if comfortable, see if you can gently bend into both knees. Try and keep your feet flat on the floor. So you're not trying to get down into a deep squat. You just let your body go to the point that feels comfortable. Straighten your legs and walk your feet in a couple of feet distance. And then again, just bending one knee forward, straightening the other leg. Bending the other knee forward, straightening the other leg. You can carry on going from side to side, or you can have a go at bending both of your knees and just taking your knees as far forward as feels comfortable and your feet towards the floor, but your feet remaining flat on the floor. Straightening your legs again, walking your feet a little bit closer. So they're almost touching, they're about hip distance apart. Bending one knee, bending the other knee. And then again, if you want to, taking that nice deep squat towards the floor, you can always put a cushion underneath your hips or a couple of cushions underneath your hips to give you something to land on. And then keeping a very, very, very short distance between both of your feet. You're just going to rest your hands again on either your ankles or on the top of your shins. And we're just going to take a little bit of a wiggle from side to side, sending your hips from left to right. Gently looking down towards your toes. And in the Chinese tradition, they say that this is to embody a tiger, which is the yin and a feminine energy of the yin yang. You're gently taking your tail from side to side. And then embodying the dragon, which is the male energy of the yin yang. Take a little bend to your knees. Bring your elbows and your hands together and start to take your hands from side to side like a snake. Slowly scissoring your way up towards the ceiling, taking your time, straightening your legs bit by bit as you wind from side to side, all the way up. Taking your arms up towards the ceiling, nice long straight line between your fingertips and your toes, and if comfortable, a little lift of your heels. off the floor into a nice long balance. And then gently bringing your heels down, gently bringing your hands to the center of your chest. Taking a big breath through the nose, big breath through the mouth, feel your shoulders relax. Okay, good. So we're nice and warm now. We should feel a little bit of activity in the body and in the skin. And now we're going to do a little bit of a massage for the body. So in Chinese medicine, the body is seen as having different systems running through, just like it is in Western medicine, but they also see the system of qi. So we have these energy pathways running through the body, meridian lines. These are the lines that an acupuncturist would use to put needles to affect the correct organs in the body, in the correct system. So we're going to go through a massage that's going to gently help to release tension in the muscles and the nervous system and in the systems of qi, help to release any blockages. It's a really good daily practice to do. So starting with the head, taking your hands to your scalp and just doing a little bit of a rubbing sensation with your fingertips, almost as if you're putting shampoo into your scalp, and just going intuitively around different parts of your head. So this is the more peripheral, outside effect, using your fingertips like this, and it's more of the yang energy, and then the yin, which is the female, more deeper energy, is a tapping. So a gentle tapping around the head, and go to the bottom of the head, the side, the top, the middle, moving around again, following your intuition. And then let's move on to the face. So to start off with, again, just that peripheral outward movement of the soft brushing of the skin, like you're exfoliating your skin with your hands, and gentle circular motion. And then we're going to take that into more of a deep massage, a bit like the tapping. So you just take and press your fingers into different parts of your face, your temples, underneath the eye line, underneath the eyebrow line, and all around your jaw where we collect so much tension, giving a good massage around the gums, bringing blood to the teeth, the sides and the edges of the nose, and the edges of the chin. Giving a gentle massage to your ears, which represent the kidneys in the body in Chinese medicine. And then we're going to take the hands and do a gentle brushing to the throat in a downward motion to promote the health of the thyroid gland. So brushing downwards. Good. And then we're going to do a little bit of a tapping on the chest, clearing out our lungs. So we're going to take a big breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to make a sound. And at the same time, a tapping on our chest like a gorilla. So it's a one more time. Good, and then just feel that vibration in your body. Good, so moving on to the arms and the ribs, upper torso. So let's give a little exfoliation to the arms. Think of it like getting rid of that excess energy, any stickiness on your body, around you from the day, places you've been, from other people, just energetically taking off the layers that you don't need. And then we're going to go into the tapping. So taking a gentle fist, tapping down the arm towards the palm, and then up the outside of the arm towards the shoulder. And again, inside of the arm towards the palm, outside of the arm towards the shoulder. One more time. Finishing with the tapping on the back of your shoulder and the back of your neck, side of your neck. And then the other side, tapping down the arm to the palm, up the arm to the shoulder. Inside of the arm to the palm, outside of the arm to the shoulder. One more time. Staying for a few moments on the shoulder and the side of the neck. Just being gentle with your body. Good. And then the ribs. So following the ribs with your fingers, giving them a little brush. In Chinese medicine, the ribs represent the immune system, which is a really good thing to be on top of at this time of the year. So working into all the edges, massaging between the ribs, underneath the armpits, down the side of the waist, under the diaphragm, which is at the bottom of your rib cage. So you can gently press your fingers underneath the ribs if that feels comfortable, up towards your diaphragm. The idea is that you heat and melt any of the toxins from your immune system and your lymphatic system, helping them to flush out. Good, and then a little chest massage, so a pec massage or a breast massage for the women. You can close your eyes, just move inward, and then just take these gentle circular motions with your hands, starting by going outwards around the pec tissue. Particularly if you are a woman, a very, very self-nurturing practice to bring to your body for your hormonal health, the balance of your hormones. And then gently going in the opposite direction, inwards. Good. And then we're going to go down to the tummy. So starting with a gentle brushing. This tummy massage can be a great thing to do when you're digesting any meal. If you ever want to take any of these bits of the massage to do on their own, they all have their own unique purpose. And then taking your fingers and again, just going a bit deeper, maybe making some circles and just some gentle pressing into different parts of your abdomen, just going gently because it can be quite a sensitive area around the belly button, just beneath the ribs, towards the pelvis. Good, and just moving our way down towards the bottom of the pelvis, towards the hip bones. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So a gentle brushing on the lower back where the kidneys live, warming up the kidneys, giving them some energy. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys hold all of our energetic potential qi and energy. So it's really important to look after them to keep yourself warm, to keep yourself hydrated. And then again, a little bit of the tapping. So gentle fists, very, very gentle on your kidneys, going down your lower back, and then maybe a little bit more of a tapping when you get towards the back of your pelvis, your sacrum, your glutes, getting rid of any of that tension. And then you're going to take the hands into the legs. So you can start with a little bit of a brushing around the legs, bending your knees as much as you need to, or grabbing a chair. If you need to sit down to do this, that's fine. And then the tapping. So we're going to be tapping down the outside of the legs and up the inside. Down the outside, up the inside, down the outside, up the inside. Good. One last part of our massage. It's the underside of the foot. So if you need to hold on to something, then please do. You're going to take your thumb into the sole of the foot. If you scrunch up your toes, there's a gentle pressure point just beneath the balls of the feet. You can put your thumb onto there and just do a gentle circular massage. And that connects to your kidneys and then go the other way. And then you can change to the other side, so just taking the other foot. And just beneath the balls of the feet, in between the left and the right. If you scrunch up your toes, it feels like there's a little hole there. And you press your thumb into it and give a little massage. Both directions. And then release. Good, so we've done our massage. It should leave you feeling nice and free and uplifted and spacious and bright and clear. That's the idea of the energetic massage. And now we're going to go on to a few Qigong movements, which are going to be about gently connecting to the movement of our energy, really grounding us and earthing us into the floor and getting into some of that meditative motion that Qigong is all about. So just to get an idea of this esoteric term, energy, although it's not actually esoteric, it's a daily part of our lives. So just to give us an idea of something tangible, let's start with a little bit of rubbing of the palms. So start by really rubbing the palms together. So you want to create as much heat between the hands as possible. Make it as quick as possible and put as much pressure between your hands as you can. Rub, 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 rub. And then release your hands and just pause. And just hone in and concentrate on the feeling between your palms, the space between them. Just get a feeling of the energy that you've just created. Breathe gently and just noticing what you can. Maybe there's a sense of fuzziness. And as the immediate feeling fades away, you're left with a far more subtle, leftover feeling of energy. You might find as you gently bring the hands closer together and further away from each other that the feeling between your hands is a little bit electric and a little bit bouncy. Or maybe to you it's just a sense of warmth between your hands. It really is very different for each individual, and it tends to change. Every time you visit the practice, it's slightly different. So let's just take this ball of energy that we've got here. If you look down at your feet, make sure that they're about shoulder distance apart. Toes are pointing forward. Take a little bend into your knees so that they're springy and they're helping you to soften into the earth. And then push your knees outwards a little bit. So you have this sense of screwing your energy down into the ground for your feet. And then imagine you're holding this gentle ball of energy. You can always rub your hands together again to reignite the immediate feeling of heat between your palms. And we're just going to take the ball of energy with us as we go into this exercise called waving the hands in the clouds. So holding gently the ball of energy as you take one elbow forward and the other elbow back. So if you look at this gentle waving motion, Qigong is the building block for Tai Chi. And actually, as gentle and as subtle and as meditative as this movement seems on the outset, it's actually the underlying fundamental principle for an elbow strike in self-defense. So if I bring this elbow forwards and gently in the offense movement with my elbow, so it comes forward to the front of the room. Very important to let your hips move with your shoulders. So don't lock off your hips. Keep your knees soft, keep them gently bent, and let your hips move with your elbows. So you're using your body, your center stays strong in one long line. And then we're going to pause with one elbow going forwards and the other elbow going back, and we're going to reverse the motion. So now my arm, instead of moving forward actively, is coming back, elbows moving back. And then I change and the other elbow moves back, and I can still keep a distance between my hands that allows me to feel the subtle connection between each palm. And now that I've reversed the motion, I'm no longer in the offense in the elbow strike. I'm in the defense with a ward off, gently protecting my face as I move away from the opponent. and that's the Tai Chi element coming into the Qigong. So just a couple more of these. Long, slow, continuous breath in the background of all your movements. And then we're just going to come gently into the middle. Pause with the hands in front of each other. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out through your nose, just gently place both of your hands onto your tummy. Continue to breathe with your hands on your tummy, just holding on to that energy that you just created. Okay, so that gives us a bit of a background and a bit of a base to do a few more Qigong movements. We're going to move on to what's called the 8 pieces of brocade. So let's just remind ourselves of the position that we want to be in as we go through these meditative movements. Not worrying too much about the specifics of exactly where your hand needs to be or exactly where your shoulder or hips needs to be. Just interpreting the movement as well as you can in terms of the look and concentrating on the sensation of the movements and keeping your mind and your thoughts present with the movement and the energy of the body and how it flows from one rep to the next rep. Okay, so let's reestablish toes pointing forward, knees slightly bent and gently pushed out, screwing the energy down to the earth. The feet are in line with the shoulders. They can also be slightly wider if you want more of a deep energetic stance. And we're just going to start with a little bit of a rubbing of our hands again, just to wake up the energy, wake up the heat in the body. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose to keep the energy inside the body. Good. Okay, separating the hands, get a feeling of the buoyancy between your hands. Make sure the weight is evenly between your toes and your heels. I'm going to take the hands down to the hips. Gently start to softly bend the elbows as the hands start to float up, palms facing up to the ceiling. When the hands get level with your chest, flip them so that the palms are now facing up. And keeping your arms bent, making sure you don't extend them fully as you stroke the walls next to you with your palms. Bringing the hands slowly and softly back down to your hips. Fingertips coming towards each other. And again, make sure your knees stay gently bent. The weight sinks down into your feet. You flip the palms. When you get to your chest, push them upwards. Keep the arms soft and bent as you extend them to the ceiling, out to the side. Softness in the shoulders. Softness through all of the bones, all of the muscles. So there's this feeling of freedom for the energy to move. And then just gently hone in the feeling of your breath in your throat. The feeling of the air around the hands, between the fingers. The feeling of the feet on the floor. The feeling of equanimity and balance in the body. And just let it amplify. Let's do one more circle like this. then just gently bring the hands to the center. Feel that gentle connection in between the palms again. Moving on to the next exercise, we're going to take the hands towards each other. And then in the middle, one palm is going to go up to the ceiling, facing up. The other palm is going to go down to the floor, facing down, like you're trying to separate the air in front of you. When the hand gets just above the head, above you, and the other hand just in line with your pubic bone, gently take your arms back out to the side. Bring them back into the center. And then change. So now my other hand goes up, palm facing up. Other hand goes down, palm facing down. Feeling as if you're stretching the air between the top hand and the bottom hand like chewing gum. Windmilling out to the side and then back into the center to change the arms again. Always soft through the limbs. Remember, we're not looking for a stretch through the arm bones. We're looking for this sensation through the body, through the limbs, through the tissues, between the hands, between the body and the air, between the feet and the floor. Checking in your breathing, in through the nose, out through the nose. Keeping the knees gently bent and gently pushed outwards. And if you want to, as one arm goes up and the other goes down, your eyes can go from hand to hand, scanning up and down, up and down, up and down to exercise the muscles of the eyes. I'm going to do 2 more windmills here, trying to alternate the gaze of the eyes between the bottom and the top hand as they separate. And then just gazing softly forwards as they windmill to change. Last one. And then just taking again that pause in the middle. Noticing any shifts in your body. What about your temperature? Considering we're doing very gentle, soft movements, nice and slow, do you feel a rise in your temperature? Shifts in your energy? Okay, so moving on to the next exercise. For this one, we're actually going to widen the feet if that's comfortable. So if you can take your legs a bit wider and really bend the knees a little bit more deeply if that's comfortable, and push them out even more because the feet are even wider still. You can imagine you have a bow and arrow. So I'm going to take the 2 first fingers of my left hand and I'm going to draw this imaginary bow and arrow. I'm going to aim with my left fingers for something in my life that I'm interested in, that I desire, that I'm attracted to. And then I'm going to release the arrow and watch it hit the target. And then I'm going to change to the other side. Nice, rock arms. One hand is pulling back the bow. I'm going to aim that arrow, gaze over the fingertips, concentrate gently on what it is you'd like to attract in your life. Really pull the elbow away from the fingertips so that you get a lovely stretch across your collarbones and release. Change when you feel like you've hit your target. The knees stay bent and pushed outwards. The toes stay pointing forwards. The eyes are following your arrow. So here we do get a sense of stretch. Stretch through the arms. Stretch across the collarbone. Let's do 2 more of these. Taking as much time as you want to aim. Feel before you release. And then again, softly bring your hands to the center. This time we're going to walk the feet in quite a short distance between the feet now. So they're pretty much in line with the middle of your thigh. And we're going to do the wise owl. So my feet aren't quite touching. My arms are relaxed by my side. As I breathe in, I'm going to lift the heels off the floor, open the palms to the front and the sides of the room, and then turn to look over my shoulder as far as I can. And I'm going to gently come down from the heel lift, relax the hands, and then go to the other side. Heels up, feathers, palms, bloom, open, spiral, head turning over the shoulder. So we're embodying the owl, so there's all-seeing and all-knowing. If you feel like you're wobbly at the top of this lift, try lifting your heels a little bit less than you are. You're really pressing your big toe into the floor to engage your inner thigh. Wide across the collarbones. Now let's just do 2 more of these. And then relaxing in the middle. Again, you can take a little rub of the hands. We're going to go back into a fairly wide position. This is one of my favorite exercises we're about to do. So having your toes really pointing forwards again, because we are in that wide position, taking that deep knee bend again and pushing your knees out and open over your toes. You're going to bring your hands next to the bottom of your ribs into very gentle fists. This exercise is all about releasing anger, which is working with the liver energy. Any stagnant, angry energy gets stuck into our liver. It's really good for us to release it. So we're going to take a big breath. And as you exhale, taking one fist forward into a gentle punch. Making an angry face, projecting that energy forward, releasing it, owning up to it. And then as you breathe in, open your palm, pull the arm back, smile, and replace that angry energy with forgiveness and acceptance. And then the other side. Angry face as you push that fist forward. Calm, peaceful, accepting face as you draw in forgiveness and acceptance. Keep on going from side to side, keeping the weight in the feet, the knee bend, pushing the knees open over the baby toes. Thinking of this as the safe place to put that event or person, whatever it is, in front of you, and really being honest about how you feel and transforming that emotion into a more accepting emotion. Okay, let's do 2 more. And then release your hands. Just take a few moments with your hands in the center again, feeling the temperature of your body, feeling your feet on the floor. If your feet could go a little bit wider, just take them just a tiny little bit wider, deepen your stance a little bit more. Taking your hands into your hips. We're going to turn to face one corner of the room. We're going to lean our chest forwards and down. Gently sweep our chest just above the floor, keeping your back nice and long, keeping your knees bent so you're really supported through the back. Sweeping your face towards the other side of the room, and then letting your head continue the circle, like you're dizzy, just stood up from being a little bit dizzy, until gently your head stops circling, and then you go back the way you came, turning the chest, leaning the chest forward, keeping the spine nice and open and upright. Sweeping the chest just above the floor, only leaning as far forward as feels comfortable. Pressing upwards on the other side, and then gently circling the head and shoulders around a few times, particularly the head, letting the neck be nice and relaxed and loose until you come to a standstill and go back the way you came. And we're just going to keep on going from the other side to the other side, embodying the bear. And the bear is strong. The bear is a traveler. The bear is a tracker. Feeling that gentle stretch through the back of your legs as you tip the spine forward and swing from one side to the other. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Okay, so let's walk our feet into a hip distance, shoulder distance position, so edges of the hips and underneath the shoulders. Just take a few minutes standing in this position. Again, if you want to heat up your palms, you're more than welcome. This full exercise has 2 versions. The first version is half of the exercise, and the second version adds on the rest of the exercise. So we'll do the first half together, and then you can choose if you want to go into the full. I like to call this the coffee pressing exercise. So as we gently take the arms down by our side, just imagine you have 2 eggs under your armpits. Just feel the energy between your palms and your legs, the air and the space between them, the sensations between your skin and the surrounding air, your feet in the floor, the crown of your head in the ceiling. Just find all aspects of your body in space and time coming together into one. And then when it feels like a natural movement, just slowly start to lift your arms up. Like strings, are pulling them up to the ceiling, this weightless, effortless lift of the arms, soft elbows. When the arms get to the top, just bring the palms to face the floor, fingertips gently pointing towards each other, and like a coffee presser, pressing gently down past your face. Energy tends to rise. So pressing the hands down like this can often be a very tangible feeling of energy underneath the palms as you press the energy down to your hips. And then let the arms relax by the sides, and again, like a string is pulling your arms up to the ceiling, weightless. The arms go up, fingertips point to one another, soft elbows, hands press down. So I'm going to add on the second part of the movement at the bottom of this one. When my hands get to my hips, I'm going to take the hands behind my hips. I'm going to gently lean forward. I'm going to stroke the back of my legs as I bring the head towards the knees and the fingertips towards the heels. And then I'm going to lift with bent knees, the arms up to the ceiling. I'm going to lean back gently, if comfortable, and look up towards the ceiling, stretching the front of the body. And then I'm going to straighten the legs, stand upright, and start to press. The hands down again. Soft, slow, conscious movement. Tapping into the sensations of your breath, of the air, of the floor, of the skin. Making sure that you stroke very gently the back of your legs as you lean forwards and feeling you don't have to go all the way down to the floor. You can have a slight bend in the knee here. Bring the chin to the chest when you get to the bottom so your neck is long. Let the arms relax and then bend the knees to lift the arms up. Nice and soft through the elbows, but straight through the fingertips. And then gently leaning back and opening up through the chest, keeping the knees bent. And then straightening the legs to start pressing down. So that's the complete movement there. If you want to do the whole exercise. But always coming back to the sensation of the movement. The more subtle the sensation, the slower we have to move and observe. The more present we have to be. Let the movement pattern take over. Fall deeper and deeper into those subtle sensations. Keeping the breath going, the movement flowing. I'm going to do 2 more of these. And 1 more. And then bringing the hands down. We have 1 more very grounding exercise to do. So if you just let your arms relax by your hips, press all of your fingertips together so you make almost like a bird's beak with your fingers. Lift your heels off the floor as you lift your wrists up towards the ceiling, and then drop the heels and drop the arms. So it's a very grounding exercise to get out of the thoughts in your head and into the physical body. So if you ever feel like you're stuck in your head with recurring thought patterns, or you're feeling indecisive, this is the exercise to do. Do a few more of these. Good. And then just gently bring your hands onto your belly button, your pelvis, your abdomen. Take a few deep breaths, closing your eyes. Connecting to the center of the body. Fully aware of the feeling of your feet on the floor. The air and the space around you. From the crown of the head to the ceiling. Blink your eyes open. Good. Thank you everyone for joining me for this Qigong class today. Hope you all feel more grounded, more present, and you can take this practice